But you know how the story originally broke? The Packers podcaster named Big B.
Shout out Big B.
Jamal Williams is inside the 30, out in front, a Green Bay touchdown.
Jamal Williams is the GOAT, the GOAT. That's all you need to know.
Let's keep it under 25 minutes, all right?
We might be too young to have a spotted cow, but we are both diehard Packers fans. How are we doing, Packers fans across the land? This is episode 149 of the Underage Packers podcast. We greatly appreciate you tuning in on this Thanksgiving week. Today we are here to preview the Packers game on Thanksgiving against the Detroit Lions. I'm Joey, and joining me as always is my buddy Big B. How are we doing on this Thanksgiving week?
Man, the vibes are amazing. Packers victory on Sunday versus the Chargers. I did not expect us to beat the Chargers at all. So my mood has been through the roof, and I am so excited to get disappointed tomorrow and ruin it all.
Yeah, that's great to hear. That Chargers win definitely was a surprise. I mean, if you had told me at the start of the season that the Packers would have really bad losses against the Broncos, the Raiders, can throw the Steelers in there too, but they would beat the Chargers in a very good win, I would be rather surprised. But they pulled it off, and not only did they win, but it was, I don't know if convincing is the right word, but it wasn't like they got lucky. It was certainly not a fluke, I would say. The Packers were the better team on Sunday. So a good, sound win for the Packers. Moving on to 4-6, baby, back at that golden record that they were in the middle of 2016. And, of course, now every time they make it to 4-6, we are going to bring that up again instead of admitting that maybe they are just really bad.
Yep.
But we got a really tough matchup coming in the Detroit Lions tomorrow. We have some audience in here. Nate Temple, buddy Nate, says, who's going to be the Packers MVP tomorrow, buddy boy? Since he is using your terminology of buddy boy there, I'll let you take that, Big B. Who do you think is going to be the Packers MVP?
Well, if we're going to win tomorrow, it's going to be all on Jordan Love. So I'm going to say the MVP tomorrow is going to be Jordan Love. I
mean, very well could be. I mean, if Jordan Love goes in there on Thanksgiving and has the Packers beat the Detroit Lions, that would be the biggest one of the season so far. And especially considering, I mean, I don't want to even open up this door, Big B, but the Packers currently are 2.5 or 2 games out of the 7th seed in the NFC. And I'm just saying. Now, of course, the team that currently occupies the 7th seed is the Minnesota Vikings at 6-4. So the Packers are technically 2.5 games from overtaking them. But the NFC, as we all expected to be, is not that great this year. There's plenty of open room, and especially, when you look at the Packers' schedule for the remainder of the season here, they have the Lions this Thursday, obviously, the Chiefs next weekend. Hopefully Taylor Swift is in attendance. Then they travel to MetLife to take on the Giants, then Tampa, Carolina, Minnesota, and end it off at home against Chicago. So 4 or 5 winnable games there to end off the season. And, even I don't expect them to make the playoffs. And if they do, it will probably be a really bad game against whoever the top seed ends up being in the NFC. But, I am looking forward to this last half of the season. This Chargers win, even though it's a loss against the Steelers and also the win against the Rams, really got me excited again for the last half of the season. Kind of for the same reasons that I was excited at the beginning of the season, but that was kind of dampened, obviously, by some really bad losses. However, but I just really think this is going to be an exciting stretch to see how they are able to learn it, because they've been showing signs of finally learning from their mistakes these past few weeks. But like I said, I'm not even going to begin to open up that door of possibly making the playoffs.
Yeah, but if we do make the playoffs, we're going to the Super Bowl. Very simple.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine this? I mean, it would be an amazing Super Bowl doc of like,
yeah, that'd be great.
it would be phenomenal. And if that happens, if the football gods like us that much, then obviously we'd be playing the Jets in the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers and his fake Achilles.
Yep.
But yeah, for this Packers game tomorrow against the Lions, Packers come in as 7.5-point dogs. Honestly, surprised it's not more. But I do think this will be quite a bit different than the matchup we had with Detroit earlier on in the season. Don't think it's going to be as much of a blowout. Even though they made it close in the second half, that game was over by the end of the first. Really, by the end of the first half, end of the first quarter, it was done. So by the time Jordan Love threw that pick six, it was that was it.
Yeah.
So we'll get to the Lions in a little bit here, but first, recapping this game against the Chargers last weekend. Really, really strong performance. A lot of things that you like. Jordan Love, once again, playing the best game of his season so far. And I forget who it was. I think it was Zach Jacobson who said that Jordan Love, for the second week in a row, has played the best game of the season. And that's what you want to see, or the best game of his career, really. Just getting better week by week. In the past 2 weeks, he's thrown for 611 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a passer rating of 90.5. And what I really like about Love's games these past 2 weeks is the fact that not only is he having those eye-popping throws, but he's also really cleaning up the little stuff. We knew, we always knew with Jordan Love that he had the ability to make some wow throws. And we've seen plenty of that these past few weeks. He had some amazing off-balance throws against the Chargers. We knew he could do that. And even in his worst performances, we saw him make throws like that. However, these past 2 weeks, what we needed to see from him was clean up the mistakes, because those were way too prevalent. And, it's all fine and dandy if you're able to make some great throws here and then. But, unless you're able to consistently play clean games, if you can't get that done, then it's not going to matter how much, Patrick Mahomes-esque throws you have per game, unless you're having that on every single play. You got to have the little stuff right. So that's what I really liked from Jordan Love these past 2 games, just that it's been so much cleaner, a lot more smoother, and he seems to be learning quite a bit, especially compared to the beginning of the season, where it just seemed like he was, making the same mistakes over and over again. Big B, what have you thought of Jordan Love's recent performances here?
Yeah, overall, Jordan has been playing probably as good as you would want him to, especially after the tough stretch we had there. I think the offense as a whole is getting a lot better overall. They're developing a lot better. They're making plays every week. Everybody's making a play in the game like that. Whatever. Anyway, but yeah, but like you said, there's a lot of fixable things that like Jordan can improve on. I think he's cleaned up a lot of the stuff. And like I watched Quarterback School yesterday when that dropped, and he mostly said the one thing that Jordan needs to work on is his footwork. On his last drop, he needs to have his feet in the position to throw so he can make a clean throw and play in rhythm. So that's pretty much the only thing Jordan, I would think, we need to work on at this point. And hopefully this offseason they'll attack that. But I've been super happy with Jordan's performance. He is looking like the 3rd straight NFL MVP. We're
going that far already?
Yes, we are going that far that he will win the MVP this year. And yeah.
Okay.
I love, man. He's the GOAT. I love him.
Yeah, some good things you brought up there is just the fact that a lot of his errors these past few weeks are fixable things. So that's really promising. You can't teach accuracy, can't teach a lot of things about the quarterback position. Once you reach the NFL level, you have to have a lot of the instincts. And I think Tom Clemens is a really good coach, even if he has a finite amount of time left in the NFL before he retires. But like you mentioned, like footwork, that's a fixable thing. And 2, even the things that he was struggling on early on the season, like the deep ball accuracy, he's getting a lot better on that. There's a stat that PFF posted this past week that he has 18 completions over 30 yards now on the season, and 9 of those have come in the past 3 weeks.
Yep.
So like he's putting it together. He is starting to look like a really good player, and he's going to have to prove it in these last few games of the season here. Packers are basically, they're going to have to make a decision on him this offseason, whether he's shown enough to be the guy going forward, or if, I don't know what they do if they don't decide on that. I mean, you can draft a quarterback early. You obviously have Jordan under contract next year, but it's hard to see them going into next year with Jordan as a lame duck quarterback. And you also have to walk that line of, making that decision if, do we want to take a risk on him, or are we, what was I going to say? Or basically, like, you could be taking a risk there by paying him, giving him a big long-term contract. That's obviously a risk just after one season. The NFL has changed since Aaron Rodgers first started in 2008. So paying him a long-term contract would be a big risk. But hopefully the hope is that you would still be able to get him on a cheap deal that he would quickly outperform that contract. So I see we got Tom Grossi in here. Tom, you don't have anything better to do on Thanksgiving Eve? Thank you. Thank you.
You got a live stream to do or something? Jesus.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised. Thank you for tuning in, Tom. Now that's a lot of pressure to follow.
I know. I'm all nervous here.
Yeah. Okay. Some other things for the Packers here. Running back situation. Bro, I be working. Okay. We'll be happy to. Sorry for the no. We really appreciate it, Tom. We really do. We appreciate you having us on as background noise here.
Yeah.
For the running backs for Green Bay, and this ties into their performance against the Chargers too. The running back situation has quickly turned very dark. Aaron Jones was dealing with that injury for most of the season, wasn't 100%, and then he comes back ready to go against the Chargers, and then now he has a MCL sprain. So that's certainly not fun.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, Emmanuel Wilson, who I was really excited to see get some playing time as well, he gets a shoulder/neck injury. It was weird watching the highlight because I was like, what even happened here? But
I know. I was wondering that too. Like, it didn't even look like anything happened.
Well, you were there in person, so but you watched the TV broadcast afterwards, correct?
Yeah, I just got done watching it.
Okay. Yeah, his shoulder basically gets jammed into his neck. So I can definitely see how that would hurt.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's unfortunate. The Packers did call up Patrick Taylor at halftime. Larry Brian Gutekunst
let's go.
dialed up Patrick Taylor. Big you watch Patrick's Twitch streams a lot. Have you talked to him since he was signed by Green Bay again?
Not really. He just said he's happy to be back. He like he said in his locker availability, he expected that to happen. But I'm just so happy for him. I'm so glad he's back. He's an awesome guy, and I'm so happy for him.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I don't mean to talk bad about the guy you just praised and have a good relationship with, but I don't see that much in Patrick Taylor, and there were some people on Twitter like there wasn't anybody better out there, because in limited opportunities PT has had, he hasn't shown much with it. But I mean, they're on a short week. They just need somebody that knows the system, knows the team, that is going to be ready to go on Thursday.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. Like, every time Patrick Taylor had a big run or something, there was either a holding call or,
oh boy,
the offensive line didn't even block on all of his other runs. And come on. You really – I don't know what Matt was doing in the Raiders game also. I think it was the Raiders game was his final game. Putting Patrick Taylor on 45 screens that game. What are we doing? That's not going to win you games. That is just terrible, putting Patrick Taylor out there and running screens with a terrible offensive line. My boy was set up for failure.
Sure.
I'm glad he's going to get his redemption story here.
Yeah.
Tired of the disrespect.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. I would love to be proven wrong about Patrick Taylor.
He's going off for 200 yards tomorrow. I don't know if you read the script, but yeah, that's happening.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I wasn't at the I wasn't at the reading, so I
Oh,
wouldn't know.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to wide receiver for the Packers. Dontavian Wicks and Jaden Reed have arrived. I almost called him Jaron Reed. Jaron Reed had a good sack for the Seahawks last weekend.
There we go.
Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks have finally arrived. We knew they had this in them. They kept on showing flashes, but this week they finally got the opportunities. Reed went 4 receptions for 46 yards along with the touchdown on the sweep. And then on Dontavian Wicks, 3 receptions for 91 yards. Jordan Love finally getting those connections down with them. You'll love to see it. And also, on Jaden Reed's touchdown, it looked eerily similar to a play you might have saw on Big B's Twitter feed in August. Big B, describe your feelings when you were watching Jaden Reed score on the play that you had gotten in trouble for filming at Packers training camp.
Yeah, well, I didn't even know it was like the same exact play until after the game happened.
Yeah.
So, that competitive advantage, didn't really matter on that play. I see, just throwing that out there. And I think that's news, competitive advantage is false, fake news,
I would love to have a talk with Mark Murphy, just be like, why is this the way it is? But
like, I'm taking that as a win. Like, I'm putting that in the I'm right category and Packers are wrong category. So, that's a big win in my book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's show this. So you did post a TikTok today, and they are basically the same exact play, just 2 different sides. On the play that Big B filmed at practice, you'll see Josiah DeGuara comes out. He's lined up off to the right of the right tackle, and he comes and swings and goes as a lead blocker with Jaden Reed. In game, it's flipped. Luke Musgrave takes the role of Josiah DeGuara and goes as his lead blocker and does an amazing job. So let's show that play really quick here.
Here's Reed. And Reed and Reed got a block and a touchdown. Luke Musgrave opened the door, leading to Reed's Lambeau leap and a Packer lead.
All right. I didn't know that we'd be shown. That was awkward.
That was very awkward.
But I didn't want to give not good at emotive facial reactions. But every time the Packers have run that, because they've ran like some variation of a Jaden Reed sweep multiple times this season, and every time I'm like, it's a big B play. Yep. And they finally scored on it this time. And yeah, it was basically the same exact play.
Yep.
So that was exciting to see.
So suck it, Packers. Got you. Ha.
Whoa, that's really what you want to be saying to your favorite team? What's up with that?
It's just Packers PR, man. They're the real like haters here. We hate Packers PR here, all right?
What did you say?
We hate Packers PR.
No, why?
Yes.
No, that's no. Okay.
Why? Oh my god.
Because I would like to have a good relationship with Packers PR one day.
Me too. But like, they gotta relax.
No. Okay, then you don't say okay. Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
If we keep talking about this, it's just gonna make it worse. Okay.
Yeah, we'll fight about it afterwards.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Some other things from this game. Tucker Kraft took on an elevated role, and he will have to even more now with Luke Musgrave out for a substantial amount of time. Musgrave has a lacerated kidney. That sounds concerning.
That does.
I don't know what's going on with that, but hopefully Musgrave is okay. Like, not only for the football season, but like hopefully it is nothing like life damaging. I don't know anything about it, but a lacerated kidney, that sounds serious. I don't know how you do that on a football field.
Yeah, sounds like it hurts, and I'm assuming it did.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
definitely. Okay, Musgrave is not the only one with serious injuries for the Packers. This team is banged up now. The injury report is very long. Musgrave was put on injured reserve along with, who else was it? Emmanuel Wilson. So now we're looking at for this Sunday, Jerry Alexander, questionable with that shoulder injury. You have Devondre Campbell, questionable with neck injury. Josiah DeGuara, doubtful with his hip injury. A.J. Dillon, Rudy Ford, both questionable. Aaron Jones already ruled out. Let's see who else we got here. Darnell Savage listed as out. Dontavian Wicks, questionable with his concussion/knee injury. So, lot of names on that injury report. And then the line.
Jaden Reed's playing, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Lions were pretty much teasing us earlier today when they posted their injury report, and it's literally just one player long. It's Jonah Jackson. He's just got a wrist injury, and he's out. But other than that, the Lions are perfectly healthy.
Yeah.
So, good for them, I guess. Packers made some roster moves to supplement a very injured roster. They signed Bo Melton and James Robinson to the 53. So they have Robinson and Taylor guaranteed to play on Sunday, and then A.J. Dillon probably playing, even though he's listed as questionable. But excited to see Robinson hopefully get some playing time. On to the Detroit Lions here, coming into this game at 8-2. They had a really bad performance against the Chicago Bears last week and still somehow won. And really, I think the main problem for the Lions in this game was just the fact they had 3 interceptions from Jared Goff. When you look at the Bears stats from the game, there's nothing too impressive. Like Justin Fields, I think, had under 200 passing yards, only had 1 passing touchdown. He had over 100 yards of rushing. But other than that, like, there's nothing that impressive by the Bears stats. There's the Goff interceptions just really messed up the Lions in terms of field position. So that would be nice if Goff has a few more of them in him on tomorrow. And then also just the Lions defense, which, you know, was a big problem for them last year. They seemed to fix it up early on this season, and now they are not looking great. Really bad performance for them last week. Big thing to watch out for, I think, somebody that could ruin this game offensively for Detroit is Amon-Ra St. Brown, the superior St. Brown brother. He is just such a playmaker in the slot. I'm a little bit worried about Keyshawn Nixon surviving in there, especially with both Quay Walker and Devondre Campbell injured. Oh, man. I don't know how I'm feeling about that. And then also, too, you have Sam Laporta, who grew up in Highland, Illinois, just about 30 minutes away from me.
There we go.
He's a weapon over the middle of the field, too. He's been a really dangerous rookie coming out of Iowa. So, middle of the field is definitely an area to watch for the Packers defense tomorrow. But hopefully Goff is throwing plenty of interceptions over there, too. Big B, anything else about the Lions before we get into our superlatives for this weekend?
They're really good. They're like really, really good. They're also the Lions, so I've got to weigh that out, you know. But I'm scared we're gonna lose. Yeah. Terrifying.
Okay, helpful analysis. All right, biggest key for me, it's just starting out quick. Don't lose this game in the first quarter. Don't have stupid turnovers early on in the game. This team is really tough, like Big B so eloquently just put.
Yeah.
You do not want to have to be playing down the whole entire game. So that's my biggest PA. Big B, what do you got?
Biggest key is the turnovers. You know, like we just mentioned, Jared Goff had a pretty awful day at the office for Chicago. So, you know, if we get a few turnovers, you know, Bears got a few turnovers. They were pretty much in the position to win that game before, you know, they did Bears things. So, you know, get a few turnovers and let Jordan Love cook. And
yeah,
I think we're going to be winning that game.
All right. Biggest concern now for me, it is the Detroit Lions running game. I'm not, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs are what they are, but more so like Ben Johnson is just so creative, so multiple with his running packages. I think they ran like every personnel formation package possible in the running game last year. So that's a tough challenge for a really young defense.
Yeah.
A little bit worried about that and how they can take over games.
But they don't have Jamal Williams, so there's no reason to worry.
Yeah, there's a little reason to worry.
I don't know about that. They got rid of the best player in the world, so I don't know. I don't know about that.
Okay.
All right.
What's your biggest concern, Big B?
My biggest concern is the Lions in general, because they're scary. They're kind of terrifying.
The only thing the Packers have to fear is fear itself.
Yeah,
and
fear is the Lions because they're scary and they're good, and I'm scared.
Okay, finally, our who is going off player of the week for me. Look, this one is just based off of like how I'm feeling alone about this game. Anders Carlson is going to kick a 60-yard game winner for Green Bay tomorrow. That's just how I'm feeling. Anders Carlson is going off. There's been some close finishes with the Lions over the years, even when the matchup was lopsided the other way. So
yeah, it's true.
I have some good faith in Anders Carlson. I think he's going to get lifted off. Epic game winner. Big B, who do you got for going off tomorrow?
I got my boy Patrick Taylor. Like I said earlier, he's going for 200 yards. He's going for 4 touchdowns. He's going full Barry Sanders tomorrow.
Whoa.
And Patrick Taylor will be eating the turkey leg at the end of that game. Let's go, baby.
That's
Patrick
a bold
Taylor
prediction.
is your player of the game, ladies and gentlemen.
I would remove all 4 touchdowns and a 0 off of your prediction there. So
my brother, Jesus.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but
it's gonna be like this, man. Jesus.
I'm just being realistic. I hate to pull out the Facebook fan mode, but I'm just being realistic here.
Let me live in Delulu land here for a minute, all right?
Oh, trust me, I've rented out a very good condo in Delulu land.
Nice.
Real estate's really good over there, but
yeah, I might have to come over one day.
Yeah, you should come over and visit. But I don't interact with the Patrick Taylor Delulu. So,
man, what did Patrick Taylor ever do to you, man?
He just did not impress me enough in his showing. So,
you want to know who else didn't impress me? Matt LaFleur and his play calling for Patrick Taylor.
Okay,
now, that didn't impress me.
To a certain extent, you gotta show some burst.
Hey, he showed enough burst for me. I mean, hey, he's a 3rd-string running back. What else do you want from the man? You know, he's played perfectly fine for a 3rd-string running back.
It's debatable. That's debatable.
No, you're wrong. That's fine, but you're wrong. Okay.
Okay, me and Big B are going to take this argument and many others off of camera. So we'll end this episode off of here, but we appreciate you tuning in to this Thanksgiving Eve episode. And we will be back next week to preview another very tough matchup against the defending Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs. We'll talk to you then. As always, go Pack, go.